everybody, Jasmine here with Purnima and Marchik. We are from Level Up Consulting, and this is our wonderful podcast which we've just started. This is episode 2 and it is called the People First Projects Podcast. I'm really going to regret it, but it is what it is called. And as I mentioned, this is episode 2, and in each episode we talk about a certain topic as it relates to project management and share a little bit of our views on that topic. And today's topic is all about what a project sponsor should consider before starting a project. That's a key word, before you start the project. We've all been on projects, and you can absolutely tell when you are starting a project where a lot of thinking has gone into the project and why it exists beforehand, and when you're sort of building the plane as you're flying it. Both happen, and that's totally fine, but here are some tips if you are a project sponsor from a project manager's perspective. So you have prepared some notes, which is a real change for you, Marchik. Last week you kind of went on the fly, and it was Purnima that did the notes. But you've taken this very seriously this week. So what are the things that you thought project sponsors should consider before they start a project?
Yeah, as you said, I noted like 200 of them, but I decided to start with the one that for me is like the most important one. And speaking from perspective of project manager towards our sponsors, I will start with something that we put like the biggest highlight, so relationship and people. And I would like to start with discussion about the trust between project sponsor and project manager, because if there is a trust between these two people, the whole atmosphere in team is better, because as we know, during project work there is a lot of tension, a lot of conflicts, a lot of like moments that this trust and this support from a project sponsor towards project manager is super important.
I really like that. I think, speaking as a project lead, if you can work hand in glove with your project sponsor, it's not only good for your relationship and your communications, but you're aligned from the start and it's not a battle. So project sponsors, I absolutely agree with Marchik there. Choose the right PM for you and for your project, because there's all different kinds of project managers who specialize in different things and have different communication styles. But if you find someone that you align with, it's going to help the relationship from the very start. So love that. What's next on your list of 200?
Oh, that's a good question. I will start with another point, and this point will be connected with like the sponsor feeling of project, because for me it's important that sponsor is sure that this is a good moment for project to happen, that he or she is sure that we should work on this project, because that makes the whole work easier when you see that sponsor believes in something that you are like working, and I think that this feeling from sponsor is like moving towards the whole team if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Have either of you ever worked on a project where, I definitely have, where you feel like the project's just happening for the sake of the project happening and people don't necessarily, I guess, buy into the vision, or you have?
Yes, absolutely. And I guess that would be my point too as well. Like when a project sponsor will consider starting a project, they should have a robust business case that aligns to a strategic business goals, because instead of just starting off a project because they have budget and just a random project, if it aligns to their strategic business goals, organizational goals, it would help the whole business and the team as well to have the goals set correctly. It's a lot of win there, I guess.
Absolutely. As someone who sometimes wears a change manager's hat as well, to be able to put that in your communications to stakeholders and to end users of why we are doing this project and how it lines up to the company vision is a game changer. To be able to articulate that clearly and to, as a PM, start a project with that very clearly noted by the sponsor. I absolutely agree with you. Marchik, was there anything else on your list?
I'm out of points. I think it's Purnima time.
Thanks, Reggie. But as I've mentioned, the main thing is to have that organizational strategic goals before you, kick off the project. And the other thing is also to evaluate and have that success criteria, set up a criteria to measure the success for the project so that the project delivery team knows, yes, this is a set of goals that we need to achieve so that the business and the project can actually see the success and they can actually actually measure it as well. So it's a win for the project team, business, the project sponsor who's sponsoring you. So that is a main important criteria I would think is important.
Love it.
A lot of importance there.
A lot of important things. It's a very important job being a project sponsor. I've never been a sponsor, but I imagine, you've got the weight of the project on your shoulders. The thing I would add, just to close out our discussion, I agree with everything you've all said. But for me, it's, as I mentioned before, right resourcing. So having the right people at the right time, and also exploring whether you need to resource up throughout the project as well. So, as a Level Up team, we often go in as a team into projects, and I've definitely had sponsors ask me right at the start, even before engaging, do you have capacity to potentially do this project for a year? Do you have capacity to have more resources on this project if we need to? And I think that's a very good conversation to be having even before you've engaged a PM or resources, to know, looking a little bit ahead about what could happen, and do we have the right people so that you're set up for success. In those scenarios, of course, we're really fortunate that we can go, yes, we can flex up or flex down our team. So that worked with that project and with that sponsor. But yeah, just to drive home what you mentioned, Machik, don't just pick anyone. Don't pick a warm body if you're a sponsor. Sometimes it feels like that. You're just desperate for that solution architect or that test manager or that PM. So you'll just pick anyone that's available. I would recommend you pick the right person who you can work very well with for potentially a very long time. So right resourcing and someone that aligns to your vision and the company's vision. All right, project sponsors, you're all set up for success now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you are watching this episode, of course, leave your comments for us as well. And if you'd like anything for us to discuss, there's a couple of People First project managers, let us know, and we can do it in the next episode. Thanks everybody.
Thanks all.